What we're looking at today is the Miltech simulations purchased by Asobo C-17 Globemaster 3. We are in Hawthorne Beach, California. I'm sorry, not Hawthorne Beach, Long Beach, California, where they made the C-17 up through, I believe, 2015. And we're going to be doing a comprehensive review of this aircraft today. We obviously have the blank primer scheme. We'll change that up later on in the video, I promise. But I felt it fitting to have a primer C-17 at Hawthorne. We're roughly in the area where the Boeing plant was for these. And we're going to do a relatively comprehensive review. So this isn't going to be like the whistle-stop tours that I normally do, where we just kind of quickly look at the overview, you know, the textures, see how it flies, and all that sort of stuff. We are going to do that, but I'm also going to talk a little bit more about what I know about the systems on the C-17. I'm not a whiz with this aircraft, but I know a little bit more than the average person, we'll say. Again, I'm not claiming to be a whiz or anything, but we're going to look just a little bit more in depth, see what Miltech Simulations through Asobo was able to produce, and see some of the other subsystems that work. Maybe we'll even try to do a parachute cargo drop. I think this C-17 is capable of that. So let's get started with the basics, with the textures, and move from there. Let's begin. So textures on the C-17. Again, this is a Miltech Simulations original creation, and it looks pretty damn good. The only real complaint I have up here is this open seam in the nose gear. I know when the C-17 is sitting idle, there is a little bit of a droop in the nose gear doors, but I don't think it's big enough to be able to see that far in. We'll let that go. Other details look great. You've got, it's not properly modeled, but you've got a IR sensor. I believe that's for the missile warning system. 3 AOA vanes, 2 pitot tubes, and I believe that's repeated. Ah, there's my missile warning sensor. I'm not sure what that is. Is that like a IR beacon or something? I have no idea what that is, but your missile warning system is up here. Fold out taxi landing light combo there, and then there's one on the wingtip as well. We'll look at that in just a moment. There's one small texture issue, and you just saw it there if you were looking at the engines. The edge of the case is not a solid model, so you can see light through there, and you should not be able to. And if you come around to the aft section of the engine, it gets just a little bit worse. Again, you should not be able to see light through there, but you can. This livery has an interesting color on the exhaust for the nacelles. I don't know if they're just trying to model it as fac new, which it would be. You know, the aircraft's not even painted. The other versions, the exhaust cone does look more true to life, a little bit more yellowed, browned out, like you would see on an active duty C-17, but nonetheless, the forward fan on the Pratt & Whitney F117 engines looks good. Love it. Landing gear looks good, no complaints on the gear. Can I crouch, please? Can I crouch, please? Can I crouch, please? What happened to my ability to crouch? Thank you. Landing gear looks good. All these flare dispensers here, reasonably modeled. Really, really nice modeling on the relatively complex landing gear system on the C-17. A lot of moving parts. Coming up to the wingtip, you can see we've got what I believe are moisture and or fuel vent ports. That's that other swing down landing light I was talking about. Then you've got your standard navigation and strobe light there. I believe this is a IR marker. There were another set of those in the front at the nose. Obviously you have your formation lights, both wingtip, aft fuselage, tail section, as well as the front fuselage. It's blocked by the engines, but I'm sure you saw it before. Very nicely modeled static wicks along the outer trailing surfaces, as well as a rear navigation / tail illumination light. And I think that's a fuel drain right there to dump fuel overboard in flight. Or I guess you could probably do it on the ground. Paratrooper doors do open, as well as the air deflectors. Obviously, the main ramp opens. We also have the ability to open that cargo door, or that crew door at the front, as well as the air-to-air refueling probe, which is interesting. The rudder on the C-17 is not fully correctly modeled, but it is at least a split rudder, so it's not like other mods that we've seen where it's a single piece rudder that just has a seam down it and it all deflects in the same direction. So I'll give them credit where credit's due, but I do not believe it moves correctly to what that of the FCS and the C-17 would do. More of the missile warning system on the rear. Now this guy, I've seen this in real life on a Boeing P-8 Poseidon before. So I'm assuming it has something to do with non-direct combat, which, yes, I realize the P-8 can fire harpoons, but non-direct combat aircraft. If you know what that is, please let me know, because I do not. That's about it. We'll take a quick look at the APU exhaust, because that was very well modeled, and I think it deserves its own quick little glance here. Oh, it's looking very nice. Rating on there stays sharp even when you get up close. Texture falls apart a little bit, but that can be solved with a paint kit. There is one on and off glaring issue I've had with the model, or with the textures, I should say, rather. We'll see if we experience that today. If not, I will describe it later on. Let's hop inside, get power on the aircraft, and take a look. There's actually quite a bit to review inside. All right, on board the C-17, go ahead and get power on. Fully custom audio suite for this aircraft, so when you first bring on battery power, you'll be hit with the oral tone of a wax fail.
Wax fail, wax fail.
Very cool. And do we have ground power available? We do. We'll get ground power on, and we'll get our ROUs aligning, so let's take a little bit. Let's line up. Turn on our fire loops. And we'll do a fire test again. Fully custom suite here.
APU fire. Fire number 1 engine. Fire number 2 engine. Fire number 3 engine. Fire number 4 engine. APU.
And it's the same suite on the other side, so you get the idea there. Let's go ahead and start our APU. EGT's coming up. Get a little bit of panel lighting going on as well. Oh, and we got the flight sim bug where your mouse doesn't do anything, so we'll just, I don't know, sit and wait, I guess. I can still use the scroll wheel, which is handy. But I really hope they get that fixed. Yeah, it times out for anywhere between a couple seconds to full-on minutes, and I have no idea what's causing it. Not a binding issue with my mouse controls or anything like that. It just isn't doing what it's supposed to. I've also run into the issue a couple of times, or consistently actually, where the autopilot seems to not really do what it should be, and we'll kind of talk through that more as we get into the air. Just know that if I'm using the autopilot in this aircraft, which I plan on doing, it's all done through my Steam Deck. Alright, so we have APU hydraulics and bleed air pulling everything down. I think that's enough on the flight deck for now. Got that real big nice annunciator panel overhead. Obviously a custom model here with a retractable HUD that you saw. Let's head downstairs. We'll take more of a look at that. Let's head downstairs. We'll take a look at what's going on in the back, because there's a fully modeled rear cabin as well. So, first things first, we'll open up our access door here. And then we can also pull these blinds back to reveal the cargo bay in the rear. I've actually never been on the flight deck of a C-17 before. This is as far as I've gotten, is to be able to look up into that. There. So now we have this repeated Windows XP style computer here. We can open up all of our different doors. We can add engine covers. We'll just open up everything. And then I'm not going to use the panel here, or the computer there. I'm actually going to come up to my Loadmasters panel. And this is all fully functioning. It's super cool. So let's get some lighting on here. It doesn't really matter too much since we're oh, can I no longer? Yep, there it is. Alright, flight sim bug strikes again. Excuse you. And then it like puts in your inputs later. Anyway, so we have the Loadmaster's panel here. So if I want to just open the rear door, I can. If I just want to open the ramp, I can. I want to open both of them, so I'm going to hit open. And you can see, obviously we have the door raising upward and the ramp going down. There's also an American flag I can drop in the rear in case I'm feeling extra patriotic. If you select the Canadian liveries, that'll obviously be a Canadian flag, so you're not locked into one flag versus the other, but I do like the working Loadmaster station. Let's turn on those exhaust fans. Obviously we get extra sound effects there as well. I have not done it yet, but I believe the aerial delivery system, basically to airdrop pallets, does function, and we'll take a look at that later on. But let's go back to our little Windows 95, or Windows XP, excuse me, computer. We're actually going to pop outside of the aircraft real quick just to see everything now that we've got it all open. So you can see we've got our engine covers in place, the GPUs in place there, we've got the crew door open, our paratrooper doors, again, with those working air dams, both sides. And then our main ramp is down. And that air refueling door, you can see the slipway open there. There's additional lighting you can do from the cockpit as well. So that's neat, love to see it. As far as your fuel panel goes, I can't seem to figure out how to change fuel loading in here. So if I ever need to change the fuel loading, I just do it in the tablet here. It's easy enough, quick enough, you know, if I just need to, boom, right? So then there's your fuel load. Payload is where this thing really shines. So obviously we have a huge set of different payloads. We'll just quickly go through them all. We've got a set of Humvees. These can actually change color depending on what you're flying. So I was doing a little bit of testing earlier, and I actually had, instead of the olive drab, I had the FDE, or the Desert Sand, more commonly known colors, set of APCs. The Silver Bullet, I'm pretty sure this is like from the Apollo program. It's like when the astronauts would come back, they would have to, you know, make sure they weren't like contaminated or whatever, because we'd never been to the moon before, so they had to stay in that little RV. CH-47 Chinook, you can see that top rotor head and gearbox assembly is missing there because it wouldn't fit inside of the C-17 otherwise. You want to pretend that you're moving logistics for the U.S. president, you can do that as well. C-17s do this function in real life. Now, granted, they don't move 6 limousines at the same time. I think they have 2 primaries and maybe 1 backup limo, and then a whole bunch of other support vehicles. So they'll move some of those. I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe the Sikorsky that is dubbed Marine 1 can also, maybe with the rotor head removed, fit inside of a C-17. A couple of UH-60s. That weird, I don't know if the real UH-60 can fold. I know other variants can definitely fold the tailplane, like the SH-60. It'll swing in the whole tail rotor to minimize the length of the rotorcraft. But I don't know about this upward folding. Doesn't matter. It's still cool in the cargo. And then the pallets. I mean, I think these will be the ones that we try and do the airdrop on later with parachutes. For now, we're just going to take up a empty flight, maximize our flight performance. Go ahead and close our door and ramp. Or actually, let's do them one by one. So let's close the ramp first. Here you can see ramp up. I can also close the door, or I can also level out the ramp. If I want to do like a airdrop position, close up those paratrooper doors. Well, so in flight, if I wanted to do an airdrop, I would extend this straight out, and then I could do an airdrop that way. But we're going to close everything. And we'll remove those engine covers and close the crew door. And let's head back up to the flight deck. Alright, on board the flight deck of the C-17, let's go ahead and throw on our headphones. These have no effect from what I can tell, but it's cool to just have a little click button there. Let's go to both on our fuselage for our nav beacon. Just like on the 737, it's a combined switch. So if you go fuselage plus wing, that's your beacon and strobe lights. And I don't know for certain on the C-17, so we're going to do it just for brevity's sake. The C-17 is a little bit newer than the 7.3 that I pull this information from. I started an old 737, like 200, the one with the big, long GT8s with the clamshell thrust reversers. And on that aircraft, you actually have to manually shut off your packs. I know newer aircraft like Airbuses, you literally just turn a switch and then it does all of your pack managing for you, turns on the ignitions and all that, and you flip another lever to start. So anyway, let's go ahead and shut off our packs, and we're going to start engine number 3 first. So I'll open the bleed there. We'll turn our ignition to the A and B circuit, pull the starter for engine 3. You can already see N2 EPRs coming up. We're going to wait for just under 20%. Be good there. Here comes fuel. Through 40%. Now, I believe, much like the Boeing 747, that these switches do normally automatically return to the off condition, but they don't on this model. So you can see where it's sitting at 57%. The engine start sequence has ended. We have to manually actuate that switch back. So, again, don't know if that is a for sure thing on the C-17, but we certainly have to do it in the model here. And then we just repeat that step 4 more times. 3 more times. We've already done it once. While that's going, I will talk through, or while we're starting, we'll break a little bit of operational limitations here and talk through some of the other stuff on the C-17, because there's no reason why I can't do this simultaneously. So we'll throw in our generators. We'll get the anti-ice set up. Probes and wings, or engines rather. While we're starting up, we'll throw on those formation lights just to give you an idea what those look like. I think you can almost see them in the daytime. No, not quite. We'll get a night shot of the aircraft as well. Set our IFF, and then we'll also turn on those primary and secondary loops. Hydraulics. There's roughly 20. Fuel coming on. Left avionics bus off. It shouldn't be. But the right avionics bus. That says it's on. Nope, it's not. Engine oil pressure 1-2, that makes sense. APU in use, external power in use, we can ditch that. Engine oil pressure 4, APU in use, yep, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Let's go ahead and extend our nose lights, so we're going to need those for taxiing. And 4 is up, so we'll go ahead and start engine 1 now. Nope, excuse you, get out of here, FSLTL, we're not dealing with you right now. Final engine on start. We're not going to be using the FMS today. I've had not the best of luck with it, as well as the autopilot, but it is here. It seems to have some functionality, just not quite at 100% yet, so I'm electing not to use it, but you could probably successfully complete a mission if you wanted to. Alright, so that is all 4 engines started. Let's go back to our packs, turn those on, turn off the APU bleed, let everything cool down. For the APU side, got all of our hydraulic pressure set, so we've got roughly 4,100 in each one. Turn off the APU generator as well. Go up an anti-ice warning. What's going on with that? There we go. Now, I don't know if these are supposed to be like auto when they're on the on condition or not, but I just don't like having stuff on my annunciator panel. Alright, so with a successful startup, let's do a quick control systems check. And we'll watch that again from the outside, just for fun. Alright, I think we are ready to taxi. We've got our lights cleared out. Let's turn those to taxi. Like so. And we're going to recreate that video on my channel. We are going to do a reverse thrust. I'm going to shut up for just a little bit while we power back the C-17 Loadmaster 3. Amazing sound suite on this aircraft. I absolutely adore it. I've not checked prevailing winds, but in the C-17 we should be more than fine. It just takes 7 right here. It's a fairly long runway and we're a very light aircraft as far as load is concerned. Right, coming up on the active, let's pop those other 2 lights out. Go fuselage and wing. Turn on the wing lights as well. Again, unfortunately, outside of the landing lights, you really don't see too much of the external lighting, even at night. I'll do a quick night cycle here while we sit out on the active. Just to show you guys what I'm talking about. You do get good light casting, like if you're flying through a cloud or something. But as far as the ambient lights go, they are just not where I think they should be, and that's the case for everything flight simulated, right? So you've got your beacon down below. You can't see the beacon flashing on the aircraft. Same thing with the beacon up top. You can see the beacon, but you can't see it flashing on the aircraft, which reminds me, the C-17 actually has an LED beacon. If you watch any of the AirVenture stuff I did from last July, there was a C-17 there, and you can very clearly see LED beacons, and it's been that way for quite some time. Again, no strobe lights to behold. No visible ones anyway. Let me show you the formation lights. And we'll turn on the air fuel ones as well. Why not? Why not? Let's just turn on everything. So there you go. There's everything lit up on the aircraft at night. For the limitations that FS2024 has, I think they did a pretty good job. Aircraft definitely looks most striking at night. However, when you change things back to daytime, unfortunately, most of that goes away. So you can see the landing lights, a little bit of the formation lights, but not much else. So let's go fly on. Let's come up to 80%. There's 80%. Still standing on the brakes. Come off and then go just past our flex. Shooting for a max performance takeoff here. Oh, it's a lot less runway than I thought.
Stabilizer. Stabilizer.
Working on it.
Stabilizer. Stabilizer.
How's that for a max performance takeoff? I mean, for its size, it handles very, very well, if I do say so myself. It's obviously no F-16, but I mean, we've all seen the maneuverability videos. Okay, so let's go in for one high-speed pass in the C-17. You hear those custom GPWS callouts. And on 3-0. Oh no, we took off on 2-5 before. There. Probably massively overloaded the aircraft's wings. But it's a simulator, right? Let's see how quickly we can transition to a full stop landing here. This thing will stop like no one's business, almost as much as Flight Sim stops rendering my frames. Full flaps. 150. Gonna use that flight path indicator there on our HUD. Spoilers are armed. We're standing by on reverse thrust. Does not like our sync rate one bit. We'll pass the threshold. Past midpoint. It'll be a nail biter, folks. Before the foam creep. Piece of cake. Let's go check out some more of the other functionality of the aircraft. Let's try some cargo loading, potentially. Welcome to a very snowy Canada. We're going to go ahead and drop, or attempt to drop, because I have not tried this yet, those same cargo pallets that we looked at in the primer jet down in California. So we're going to complete this right-hand turn here. We're going to head for this riverbank down by Charlie Foxtrot, Quebec 7. We'll see what we can do. We're going to maintain low level. See what we can drop. Alright, with our ramp in the airdrop position, I think we've got a good drop zone right there. That field's looking absolutely preem. So we're going to do a big 180 here. Man, that looks good in that lighting, doesn't it? Wow, that looks so good. Low speed maneuverability remains good. would expect it to with those giant spoilers. We're going to aim to drop just in front of... Oh no, we'll go just beyond that riverbed. Let's see here. So we've got our doors set. Aerial delivery system. I want... Oh. Don't work at all. Okay, so we got drogue shoot left and right, deploy, deploy. Don't see anything happening. Release the locks. Can't do anything with the aerial delivery system here. These are all... Release. Gate select does nothing. So I wonder if these worked in the previous sim and they just don't now. Yeah, this is not working. Guess maybe we'll go to the Optimus station. So we've got I can't get to it. I can only go this far. Can't get to the panel. Can I click anything on it? No. Okay, so... Well, there goes that idea. Oh well, in the interim, I think we'll just close it out here. This is the C-17 Globemaster 3, still one of the most well-designed, even if Flight Sim did fuck up transferring it over aircraft to the sim. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's definitely going to be part of my long-term staples for all my fictitious missions that I do. And I think that's it. So with this departing shot going through cloud cover, I bid you adieu. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. And as always, take it easy.